Okay, well, what you're going to learn is how to tap into the e-commerce that is already happening out there. You're familiar with Amazon, you're familiar with eBay, and whether you love them or hate them, whether you shop there or don't shop there, it doesn't matter. The fact is that people are shopping there, people are buying things there, and you are now in a position where we're going to teach you how to be the person that they buy from. Real quick, I'm going to do this real quick. My name is Kevin Hokawana. I am one of the co-owners of DS Domination. This is a picture of me on stage here, and this is a picture of me asking who's made money with DS Domination at a live event. Okay, at a live event, I asked this question, and you can see the crowd goes wild. Everyone is just raising their hand, and they're pretty shocked, pretty excited that the entire crowd was making money with us. So we're going to go ahead and show you guys, we're going to map this out for you, how you can get started, how you can build an e-commerce business without having to do recruiting, selling, telling, getting your grandma involved, and all that stuff. And I'm going to turn this over to a good friend and another co-owner of DS Domination, Mr. Hitesh Kevin. He's been instrumental, highly instrumental in DS Domination, what it is, the vision, where it's going, the platform that you guys are going to see tonight that you're going to have access to. He has, it's just, without him, this would not exist. Okay, the entire platform, the training, the people, the mastermind behind all this stuff, this is the gentleman that he's going to be coming out here. And so I'm going to grab him, and I want you guys to give him a nice warm welcome in the chat. Let him know that you're here and you're ready to get this kicked off and underway. Hitesh, are you here, my friend?
All right, well, yes, thank you. I'm here. Can you hear me?
I gotcha.
Okay, well, beautiful, and thank you for that very nice introduction, other than calling me an evil mastermind and threatening to grab me. But other than that, it was all great. One of my habits is to misinterpret on purpose what Kevin says, because it brings me great joy to just see him squirm. So anyways, obviously, all of you guys are on here. Let me take a very quick poll of you guys, okay? So, who is on here right now who have actually tried to make money online in the past, up until now? And you just attempted it. Just say, yes, I have tried something. Okay, so we get, as expected, bunches of yeses. Okay, now I'm going to ask two very dreaded questions. I'm going to ask you a question. Have you ever tried something like an MLM or a network marketing company or something like that? Okay, and there we go. Lots of yeses. I consider it a very dreaded thing, because that was actually one of the reasons why DSD was born, is because of Kevin's attempts to get me into an MLM and my very stoic decision not to participate in those.
Yep.
So I'll explain why I chose not to participate in MLMs and network marketing companies in general. Okay, I'm going to break this down for you guys in a way that should hopefully make sense, and then I'll explain why that is a necessary experience almost for a lot of people to understand why the complete opposite model works so very well. Okay, so let me see if I can take the screen quick. All right, so here we go. Here's the screen. Okay, now I'm not saying that literally everybody is gonna fail when they try any MLMs, okay, or when they try online marketing in general, but we all know the statistics, right? Like, everybody likes to talk about these statistics, which is that 97% plus of people in home business, which is kind of a euphemistic, kind of the secret code for MLM / whatever, 97% plus of people in these type of businesses fail, okay? And when we say fail, we mean that they actually do not make any money at all, given all the time they put in, all the money they put in, and so on. Okay, now let's try and figure out why they fail, and then what we'll do is we will do things George Costanza style, which is we do the reverse of what everybody does, and we will hopefully see that this is how we create success. Okay, so here's how a typical company works. They say to you, buy inventory of our item, okay, and this item is usually some magical lotion or potion or pill or juice or whatever that will make you younger, make you stronger, make you faster, or all the kind of stuff. Interestingly enough, nobody on the Olympic teams uses the stuff, but apparently that's what it does. So that's how it begins. You buy the inventory of this item, okay. So right here from the get-go, you have spent a few $100s. Okay, usually it's a few $100s. Many times it's actually a few $1,000s. It actually is pretty bad because they'll actually award you something if you spend a lot of money. If you spend like $3,000 or more, they'll award you like a special "this person has a lot of faith" award. You know, kind of bad. Anyway, so you start there, and then you have to go out there, and then you have to create customers for the company. You have to go out there and publicize and tell everybody, hey guys, I've just started this wonderful thing, and since you are severely overweight, I would like to help you lose weight, which I think is very, very, this is the reason I never got into it, because I was like, man, that sounds really rude. Why would I want to go to my neighbors and say, let's have a party together because you're a fat?
Yeah.
You know, I'm just not going to do it. So next thing you do is you create customers for the company. Okay, which is obviously very hard, which means now you'll spend all this money advertising, you'll spend all this money trying to create customers for this one item. And then comes the final part, which is now you have to try and convince all these people to actually become sellers like you. Okay, you actually have to convince these people to join the company and become a distributor like you, which means you'll actually end up creating competition for yourself. Which is amazing. Let's everybody in the neighborhood sell the same weight loss thing together. Why? Because you've just basically given away your entire market space, right? So create more affiliates, if you will, or create more competition for yourself. Now that's the typical way that it goes, and no wonder that 99% actually something like that is the actual failure rate, because you don't, there's some accounting theatrics there, but let's just say 97% plus fail in this business model. Because what you're having to do is you're restricted to one particular item or one particular category. You are the one who's actually creating all the traffic and generating all the sales, and then you are actually ending up creating more competition for yourself. So let's do it in the complete opposite way. What we're going to do instead is we will sell everything instead of being restricted to one item, and then we will not buy anything. Okay, we will not buy anything to stock. We will actually sell for a profit. Okay, so sell high at sell at a high price first, then buy at a low price. So it's a complete opposite business model. We're not going to buy any inventory. We're not going to stock anything. And then instead of us creating customers, we will literally let other companies create customers for us. Let someone else get the customers for you. And then instead of creating more competition for ourselves, we're going to actually kind of roll it over into more and more customers for us, okay, from the same activity. Okay, so we're just going to keep doing this. And what's going to happen is, and you know, the other weird thing is that you actually pay an MLM company for the privilege of doing this for them. It's kind of ridiculous. You actually pay them a bunch of money, hundreds of dollars, sometimes thousands of dollars, and in many cases, much more than thousands. I mean, there are companies out there where you spend like $100,000 or more over a year for the privilege of being able to push their products. This is going to be opposite. We're actually going to get these companies to pay you money to be able to basically sell their stuff. Okay, so the company is going to pay you to sell things that you make money on without you spending money up front. Okay, so does that sound like a little bit better business model? And can you imagine that you might have a little bit better success rate from that? So if that sounds a little bit better, say yes, that sounds a little better. Alrighty, so we're getting all the yeses. Beautiful. So hopefully that sounds very, very exciting. Now, what we're going to do is we are not going to go to some unnamed thing right now and say, look, we're going to use this unnamed system to create income. We're actually going to use, for this particular example, I'm going to show you one example, and you will see how it applies to a bunch of other things. For this example, we're going to use 3 companies. Okay, we're going to use 3 platforms, I'll call them instead. For this first example, we're going to use platform number 1, and we're going to call that by its name. It's ebay.com. Okay, so we're going to use eBay. Who here has heard of ebay.com? It's a publicly traded company. Hopefully you've heard of it. You might even own stocks in it. In fact, if you have a 401k, you actually might own some eBay stocks right now. So it's kind of funny that quite a few people on this call right now probably actually own a piece of eBay. There's another company we're going to use called Amazon. Who here has heard of Amazon.com? That's another actually a remarkable achievement. They actually just surpassed Walmart in a net value in the market of something like 260 billion, I think, somewhere around there. And the third company we're going to use is called DSD. It's a third platform, which is Dropship Domination. It's a platform that's going to help us manage this whole thing together. And this one here has about 120,000 user base, and I kind of know about it because I'm the lead developer for it. Kevin knows about it because he's one of the co-owners with me of it. So we know about it, and that's why we can explain in detail what happens here. But we're going to use these three things together to literally make money, and you guys will see how it works and why it works so well. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to tell you what we're going to do, and then we're going to go and do it. And while we do it, you ask yourself two very simple questions. You're going to ask yourself, does this logically make sense? Okay, not emotionally. We don't want to have some chatter here about if you just believe in yourself and dedicate from the deepest part of your hearts, you might be able to achieve. And just close your eyes and visualize why you want success. We're going to ignore all that stuff. Okay, we're going to instead just talk about a very simple thing. Does this logically make sense? And the second question you're going to ask is, okay, can I actually do this? Can I do this without involving my grandma in selling her an anti-aging cream and involving my uncle in selling him a weight loss pill? Can I do this just by myself? Does this make logical sense? So that's what we're going to do. Here's what we will do. We will participate in what is called retail arbitrage. It's also called e-commerce. It's what the world runs on. So we have two things. We have a marketplace. Okay, in our case right now, for this example, we're going to use eBay as our marketplace. That marketplace is where you sell stuff. Okay, and then you have a source. Source is where you get stuff. Okay, in this example, our source will be Amazon and our marketplace will be ebay.com. That means we will sell things on eBay and we will get things from Amazon. Now, you can get things from many places in the world. You can sell things at many places in the world. But for this one example, this is what we're going to use because this is the easiest one to get started with. So here's how it's going to work. We're going to find an item on Amazon. Okay, we're going to list the item on eBay using DSD. And then once the item on eBay sells to somebody, Amazon will ship the item right to the customer. You will never buy it. You will never touch it. And you will only pay for it after you have already sold it for a profit. Okay, so let's do this live and see what we can do. So one of the fun things about me is that I grew up in India. So if you couldn't tell by the very, very thick accent, I grew up in India, and I tell these stories, and Kevin loves them. We had monkeys all over that would actually attack us in our school, and we had elephants on the street that were used to haul stuff. And I know it sounds like I'm Mowgli or something, but it's actually what happened. So what we'll do is we can actually use some of those words. This is just an example to show you. You can use any random word you want. You could use book, card, jumping rope, whatever. I'm going to use monkey or elephant or dog, whatever. Okay, so let's just go with elephant for today. I'm just typing in elephant. And now you're seeing all these items, all these products on Amazon related to the word elephant. And I'm just going to grab this item right here, this particular product. I'm going to go over to eBay. I'm going to type in the exact product in here. And let's go ahead and look at sold listings. I only want to see items that have successfully sold. So here we go. Actually, this one sold on July 1st, June 30th, and so on. So this is selling on eBay for $11.26, $11.14. Let's just say 11 to 12 bucks range. And then over here, it's sold for $7. You will notice the picture is exactly the same, the white background and everything. Basically, what this person is doing is they're selling it for $11.50 or $11.25 on eBay. They buy it from Amazon for $7.30. So they're pocketing themselves like a $1 profit on this, or actually a little more, $2 profit on this. Now you can imagine you can do this with a lot of other products as well, and you can make a lot more money on this. So let's see what's happening over here. In this particular example, somebody's buying it for $7.33. Somebody's selling it for $11 and I'll just say 25 cents just for the sake of easier calculation. Now, eBay has some fees, PayPal has some fees, all those fees combined, they're paying somewhere around just under $2 in fees. Okay, so they've paid something around $2 in fees, and they've pocketed the remaining $2 in profit. Okay, so here's what happens. Let's say a lady named Jane really wants to get this elephant toy for their newborn, or maybe a toddler or something. Jane Smith comes over to eBay, says, this is a cute elephant. I like it. I'm going to buy this for my kid. She buys it, places the order, and she lives on 123 Special Street in Texas. Okay, so she places this order. Let me make it wider. And now the person who listed this, which could be you, let's say you were the one who listed this. Now you go over to Amazon, you buy the product for $7.33, and you put the shipping address 123 Special Street, Texas. So what happens is basically the product goes directly from Amazon to Jane Smith. You only spent the $7.33 after you already got paid $11.25. Okay, that means what you did here is you sell high and then you buy low. Completely different methodology than every other business. And we're talking about hundreds of millions of customers. You don't go find the customer. You're literally just going to list the item that is already selling somewhere else and let everything else be handled for you. Okay, you're just going to sit back and collect the profits. So how do we actually find these products? How do we actually list these products? And how does all that stuff happen? That's why we need this platform called DSD. So what DSD does for us is basically you go into the members area, you first start out with the training, and you get all of this training, and you find what products you want to list, how to list the product, how to create the title, and make sure that you're actually going to sell on eBay. On top of that, you can actually use these tools and literally create listings on eBay by selecting a source. Okay, so let me explain the process for that. Let's say that I wanted to list this particular, maybe this elephant. Oh, by the way, let me just show you guys one thing really quick. Okay, so this little counter that's running, by the way, this is a real-time counter. This is an estimation of what our DSD members right now are making in sales as we are talking. Okay, so this is, I'm actually going to show you guys this. We'll keep coming back to this every now and then. But here's what I did in DS Domination. I basically copied the link of this item from Amazon and I pasted it in. And now I'm going to type in elephant toy as my keyword and watch what happens. Basically, this grabs all the keywords that are being searched for on eBay by people looking for an elephant toy. Okay, and it's grabbed all the details of this item from Amazon too. So now I just have to tell DS Domination this. I tell them I want to make a 12% profit. So it immediately tells me, look, you should price this item at $10.47. That includes all the fees, everything else. And if you sell it for $10.47, you're going to make a 12% profit on this product. It's already grabbed all the price and all the other details over from Amazon. All the description is right here. All the shipping and policies are right here. The image is right here. I can just click on this image and we're ready to go. Now, all I would do is literally go over, click on Save Listing, Submit to eBay, and now I will have a really nice looking snazzy title. I will have the item listed over on eBay at a profitable price, and notice that even though it's profitable, it's actually cheaper than what it's already sold for. So you will be able to find awesome products and list them at a slightly cheaper price most of the time than what people have already sold it for successfully on eBay. And that's the purpose of DSD. Now there's a couple of other issues in this process. This is where usually people stop talking and they ask you for money and they give you sales pitch, because hopefully you're pretty excited right now, right? Most of you are looking at this going, this is insane. I didn't even know you could do this, and I didn't know it was this easy. I mean, you don't have to spend a bunch of money. You don't have to drive traffic to it. You don't have to find people. You don't have to pitch people. So this is pretty exciting, and this is where usually people stop talking. I'm going to instead tell you what the problems with this model are and why we actually need some kind of a platform in the middle. One of the major problems that will happen, that does happen sometimes, is you will list this for $11.25, but next day the price on Amazon shoots up to $10. Okay, so somebody comes and buys it from you from you on eBay, and suddenly you're not making a profit. In fact, sometimes you might take a loss, right? So this is the other cool thing that happens with this DS domination system. So you will notice here that this is tracking my Amazon item now. Okay, so if the price on Amazon goes up to 10 bucks, it will go and adjust my price on eBay automatically, because it knows that I need my price to be higher now to make a profit. So it will say, wait a second, you want to make a 12% profit. Now the price is $10. So instead of pricing it at $11.25, you need to price it at $11.94 or whatever, like $12.13, whatever it comes to. It's going to automatically manage that for us and price it out for us. And works like 99% of the time, it'll catch the problem and take care of it. That's one of the problems that can happen. The other problem that can happen is when you're listing this item, you can go on there and you can list all these items and nothing sells, right? Then what? What do you do if these items don't sell? That's where the training is very critical, and that's where also the suggestions engine I showed you earlier was really critical. You actually use that to create the right title that will let you actually grab the attention of the people on eBay. So that system actually looks at eBay, figures out what people are searching for, and shows you how to rank for it. Okay, so it shows you this is the category that's getting the highest amount of traffic. This is the second highest category that's getting the traffic that actually matches your product. So list in this category. We just have to click this button, list it in that category. And all you have to do is use these keywords in making your listing. So this will make sure that you sell your items, and it'll make sure that you sell your items profitably. And it basically will track the whole thing for you. It makes sure that your listings are taken care of, that you're tracking everything, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that's what this middle platform does for us. Now things get a little bit interesting, right? Because you get started, and basically you go out there and you can immediately get going. You can use multiple different sources. You don't have to use just Amazon.com, even though that's one of the easier ones. And you can start making money pretty much right away. I mean, we get lots of users who make money within their first week. Many make the money in their first day, and so on and so forth. So that's exciting. And this whole section, everything that I just showed you and I walked you through, is what is called DS Domination Pro. Okay? Now, I'm going to pause for a second and I'm going to ask two questions. Ignoring any ideas and thoughts you might have right now about this must be very expensive or whatever, I just want to ask two questions. Does this make logical sense to you? And do you think you could do this? Okay. Let's see. All right. Very, very logical. Getting lots of yeses. Beautiful. Okay. It's super easy. I mean, this is honestly very, very easy to do. And at the same time, I don't want you to think that because it's easy, it's not lucrative. Okay. When somebody comes to you and says, here, go sell my coffee, or here, go sell my weight loss pill or whatever, that's a very, very small market. Okay. Right here, we're talking about $1 trillion industry. We're talking about tremendous amounts of money being spent all the time by hundreds of millions of people. So it's not like you are this little person who's going to get lost out there amongst everybody else. You have the ability to attract some traffic to yourself, generate some income right away. And in fact, just the DSD users alone, 120,000 plus people over the last little under 2 years have generated more than $2 billion doing this stuff. Okay, that's 2 billion with a B, and not 2 million or 2 billion. I don't know if my accent messes it up, but this is how. So this is how easy that whole process is. This is what's called DSD Pro. Now here's what we write about like 27 minutes into this presentation, and we're basically done because we don't have to pitch you, right? We don't have to sell this to you. I don't have to now present an emotional appeal. I'm not going to bring on 3 ladies who are going to tell you how this has changed their life, although we could bring thousands of people who do that. But we don't need to do that because this is so logical, right? It makes sense to you. You can see how it works and why it needs to be done. Now, there are 2 questions that I guarantee that are on your mind. The first question is, okay, what does this company gain by showing us this? Why would I show this to you? how would I generate a bunch of money off of this? And the second question would be, what does this cost for me to get going in, right? I mean, obviously this super elaborate system with the nice back office and this whole system that integrates with all these different stores and integrates with eBay and all that stuff, surely there must be some cost to this thing, right? So here's where it gets really, really beautiful. This is probably one of my favorite parts of this. So DSD Pro actually does not make Kevin or I some incredible amount of money, okay? DSD Pro actually costs $19.95 a month, okay? Which is peanuts. Most people like make that back in 2 or 3 sales, okay? So it's not like we're gonna make a bunch of money off of that. On top of that, we actually pay out most of this in commissions to affiliates. So people who invited you to this webinar actually get most of that money. We don't actually get to keep it. It's something like, it used to be like 18 cents is what Kevin and I used to make off of each sale. Here is where we actually make money, okay? And don't get confused by this. I'm just doing this for the sake of transparency. We make money when you successfully sell stuff, okay? When you start selling stuff and start making money, that's when we get a very, very tiny amount of money, which is basically 0.5% of what you sell. Okay, so when you sell something for $100, we basically get like 50 cents. Okay, that's where we make our money. Now, the reason we are okay with that is because we have such a tremendous amount of volume being done by our users that we are happy with that. Okay, we know that that's where we're going to succeed. So, you know, if you've ever attended these webinars or you've ever attended any kind of, you know, spiel that people sell you things on, there's this question that I hope has crossed your mind, which is always, if this is so great, why are you letting me in on this? And then the second question is, if this is so great and I can make so much money, can I just pay you from the profits? That's what we are doing. We're basically saying, look, you pay us the bare minimum to literally just keep the system going, to keep the system running. We only make actual money, like we make profit when you make profits. That's the only way we're going to be successful. So we are kind of throwing ourselves into your hands and saying, look, this is our leap of faith, right? Typically, you get on webinars and people are telling you how you need to take a leap of faith now. Take out that credit card and put $4,000 on it, even if you don't have a job and you don't know what to do with yourself. That's ridiculous. We're the ones taking a leap of faith saying, look, we will give you access to this. We barely make any money on this, but we believe that you could be successful with this system, and then we'll make a pretty decent money off of that. Okay. Now, here's the other way we make money. Okay, so DSD Pro is $19.95 a month, and the idea behind this is that you should be making between $300 to $1,000 per month by the end of your 60 days. Okay, that's the idea. Now, most people actually go much beyond that within their first 30 days. Okay, but this is the idea. This is the game plan that we are giving you, which is a very, very simple game plan to follow. I think hopefully we'll take a look at Kevin's wall and see what other people have done so far. But we're talking about, $1,000 a month, let's say. The reason we're talking about this is because I think the first goal that you should have when you start an online business, your first goal should be, can I pay off my bills? Can I pay off my internet? Can I pay off the mortgage on my computer? Because hopefully you should be mortgaging computers and not houses, because that's what actually makes you money. But anyways, enough of my philosophies on finances. But you basically should be asking, can I pay off my car? Can I pay my internet? Can I pay my bills, electricity, food, that basic stuff? Can that be taken care of by my business? Okay, when that can, you say, great, check mark, the first part is done. Then at that point, we want you to take $100 out of your profit, okay, and move on to what's called DSD Elite. Okay, this is where things get really, really interesting. Now, you're going to pay for DSD Elite out of the profits you actually are already making. Okay, so you're not going to pay us out of your pocket immediately unless you have a bunch of money or you're very excited. You're like, you know what, I want to make much more money. And with DSD Elite, our goal is going to be to make more than $1,000. Usually, we're going to replace our full-time job with that and get to about $3,000 a month or more. Okay, now a lot of people do much more than that, but that's our aim. Okay, that's our game plan with DSD Elite, which costs $99 a month. Okay, now you're going to pay this out of your profits that you're making, but here's something very interesting starts happening. With DSD Elite, first of all, you don't just get your sourcing from Amazon. You don't just sell on eBay. You sell on other places, and you get stuff from many other places too. Okay, so you get multiple sources now, and you have multiple marketplaces. So that's great. Obviously, you're going to make more money. But here's something else that starts happening. You now start getting paid money from these sources for selling. because they're going to come to you and say, you are such a wonderful human being for selling stuff from our website. Here's some extra cash back. Here is some extra discount, or here's something else. Okay, all that cool stuff. So you suddenly start making way more margins. You suddenly are making way more money on the same sales. So instead of selling something and making $5 to $10 in profit per sale, which is the average on what, around what pro users make, sometimes more. But you instead move on to sometimes making, $20 to $100, sometimes more than that in profit per sale. Okay, in fact, I think there was somebody who just posted on Facebook who had made $400 and some in one sale in profit on Elite. That's when it starts getting interesting. Now, obviously, I'm not telling you that you need to buy Elite right now. I'm actually giving you the game plan. Remember, this webinar is about what is the game plan to get you to a full-time job replacing income. Okay, that's what this is about. So that is the game plan. That today, all you're going to do is you're going to start with DSD Pro. You're going to go in here. You're going to look at all the training in Pro. It'll take you about 2.5 hours. You'll be done. You'll be pro at it. You know what to do. You're going to go and start listing your items on eBay. Okay, so you're going to get Pro, watch all the training, get your eBay account if you don't have one already, okay, and make the first 25 listings. This is your first immediate goal list for the first week, okay? Now, what we do is we also have webinars, like live training webinars every week. So we actually have on Wednesdays, we have a training webinar, for example, and people can get on. Then we actually have other people who are doing this very successfully answer all your questions, help you out. Okay, it's not a sales pitch or something. It's just to help you guys out and make sure that all your questions are answered and you're taken care of. Okay, you're gonna make your first 25 listings. The aim is by the end of your first 2 weeks, you should have at least okay, 50 listings up. Ideally something around 100. And that's where usually the members who are in our system are beginning to make consistent sales. You're starting to see some money coming in where you can actually get that this is a proof of concept. I get that this thing works. I've already made more money than I have put in, and I can see why this thing works really well. Okay, and you can start getting into the automation and all that stuff. And that's basically it. That's the beginning game plan. So this is what you should be focused on today for right now. Okay, does that make sense? I just want to pause for a second and ask, does that make sense so far? Beautiful. I'm always happy when it makes sense to people, because Kevin always says that my accent is so horrible that people will never understand what I say.
Lies and slander.
Yes, so there's a question that came in. Hey, I'm limited to selling 10 items on eBay. That's it. You are listed to 10 items in the beginning. When you list those 10 items, you contact eBay and you say, can you raise my listing limit, please? And they will raise your listing limit. Sometimes it might take a little bit of time, but just get your listings raised, the limits raised. There are people exactly in your boat who started out with 10 listings. Everybody starts out there, and now they have 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 listings up and are making $50,000 to $100,000 in profit per month. Okay, that's not, I mean, I'm not even making that up. Those are legitimate statistics from within our system. I'm not just claiming those numbers. Okay. Now, a fun thing that I did not mention is you can actually go to this page, which is approved products for our members. Now, these approved products are really cool because this is like an exclusive thing. So you can actually go list this item for sale on eBay, right? This is selling for 30 bucks on Amazon right now. But only DS Domination members get that special 30% off. So you can actually go and sell this for a lower price on eBay and still be profitable. Now, obviously, you don't have to. You can sell it for 30 bucks on eBay, and you will still make a profit on it compared to everybody else who tries to do this, and they won't be able to. So DSD members have some exclusive things like that, and we keep adding more products in here, and we have a lot of things that cycle through here, and you have access to it. But this is literally the easiest thing that you guys can do. I hope you can see why it is the easiest thing that you can do. I hope you can see that we're not doing this just for a bunch of money. It's very, very ridiculously inexpensive to get started. Less than price of specialty pizza, and unless you buy it on a special, I guess in that case it's less than 2 pizzas. But you have it's very, very inexpensive. The idea is to get you guys to make money, because then we can tell you to look, now buy something else that does make us some money, and you will do it because you'll say, look, I remember this Indian guy and the Japanese guy, they made me money earlier, and I'll buy what they recommend now. So then you will move on to Elite, and you'll move on to the other parts in DSD, all the way to, you know, basically completing your journey all the way through to Market Extreme and to Supremacy and so on. So getting like 8 questions already. How do I actually get started in this thing? Here is how you get started in this thing. Very, very easy. You go to a page called dsdomination.com/signup. Okay, and when you go to this page, it's going to show you who referred you, basically who invited you to this webinar. Okay, and you're going to see that right here. You have been referred by Kevin Hokoana. Kevin Hokoana, for those of you who don't know, is the esteemed gentleman who was laughing a few seconds ago, who's on this call with me. But it should not necessarily say Kevin Hokoana over here. It should say whoever invited you to this webinar. Okay, that makes sure that the person who referred you gets credited. And you remember this fun little thing that I mentioned, that whenever you make sales and you're successful, we get a tiny bit of money from that. Well, we actually give a tiny bit of that money also to the person who invited you to this webinar. So it's amazing, because the only way that somebody who invites you to this is going to make very large sums of money is when you make money and you make sales and you start your journey upwards as well. Okay, so everybody on this call and everybody who invited you to this webinar, they're all on your team. We all want you to make money. Even if we are selfish, we want you to make money so we will be successful too, right? And I think that's the best way to do business. That's the way I think politicians should be as well, you know, but I'll completely avoid that right now. We will focus entirely on this. So you go to the sign up page, you will finish this page, you just fill out the page, check these boxes, click on buy now, and you're done. Okay, it's going to take you to a second page. It's going to explain how Elite works to you. If you want to get Elite right away, you can, but if you don't want to, that's fine. Okay, get used to the process first and you can go from there. Now, usually I will clarify this based on this question somebody's asking, what's the benefit, should I get Elite? Statistically alone, Elite users make nearly 3 times the money that pro users make. Okay, that's the statistics on it. But there's also time and place for everything, right? So don't be a weekend warrior and say, I'm going to do this and I'm going to spend all my money. If it's comfortable for you to get pro and Elite right now, it's a good thing. But if it's not comfortable, then you should only get pro right now. Okay, that's the way we are structuring it. Hopefully it sounds a lot better than somebody who comes to you and says, well, if you truly have faith in yourself, you're going to spend $3,000 right now. And if you really love your wife, you'll spend $10,000. I mean, that's just so ridiculous. I actually remember hearing that kind of stuff. So anyways, do you get the auto listing tool with Pro? Yes, you do. And everything that I showed you on this webinar is part of Pro. I did not show you anything that is not a part of Pro on this webinar so far. Okay. I sell on eBay already. I'm a power seller. Can I use this account to do it? Absolutely. We actually get a lot of people now who see the tools, they see the structure, they see all this cool stuff that's happening in DSD, and they actually join. They're already selling on eBay, and they say, I want to get on there and start selling stuff myself. So yes, you absolutely can. Even if you're selling internationally, you can still come in and do it. Okay, Tina says, this makes perfect sense, but I'm discouraged because I cannot seem to make money like others do. I'm puzzled. What is basically what's going wrong? Okay, almost every single time when somebody, okay, and I'm not sure if you're referring to that you've tried this. I don't think you actually tried this. I think you're referring in general to having done stuff online. And I've explained earlier why doing stuff online usually is not very successful. I did very well doing online stuff, and Kevin has done very well doing online stuff, but most people can't do what we do. You know, I can make pages and I can drive tons of traffic to those pages, and I can get conversions and all that stuff. So I can do that. Kevin does the same thing. He's exceptionally good at that stuff too. So we can do it, but that's where a lot of other people struggle with it, right? So that's why people fail on this. And don't blame yourself. Unfortunately, one of the horrible things is that when 97% plus of the people fail, what they are told by the company or by their uplines or whatever is, well, you are only failing because you just didn't do it right. You didn't put in the effort. You should contacted more people, or you should have, why did you go after your high school yearbook or something silly like that. In our case, you don't find that. If you apply the system, you will be successful. That's all it is. Okay, it's very straightforward. We have a ton of people who make money and they have never recruited anybody. They don't pitch it to anybody or anything like that. Okay, so this is not one of those reasons. One of the big reasons you fail in this is because of the dangerous R word, which is recruiting. Okay, so anytime you are being asked to recruit into a business, you have the danger of failing because human beings are a limited resource and so on. Over here, you don't have the problem. Now, if you're trying to do this, if you're trying to sell on eBay and you're being unsuccessful, there are two very basic reasons why you would be. One is you're not titling stuff correctly and you're not pricing stuff correctly. You might be overpriced or you might have bad titles. Those are the two most prominent reasons that people fail to make money. And both of these are addressed and taught and taken care of within the DS Domination training. But further, if you are stuck, if you ever feel like you're like, you know what, I've put up a bunch of listings, I have 64 listings up, and I haven't made more than 2 sales, something is wrong, then what you do is you attend our live training session, you get on there and you say, look, here is my problem, can somebody look at this listing? And we have people on there who will actually look at your listing and see what you did wrong and help you figure it out. Nobody else provides this kind of support. Okay, we just do it because we have a vested interest in you being successful. We have a vested interest in you getting pro, making money, and moving on to elite and so on. Okay. All right. So what other questions do we have? And Kev, do you want to add more to this?
Yes, I'm actually.
Okay, one question that came in. Oh, sorry, can I answer one question about international people? So I have a question about if you're international, what do you do? Yes, international people can do this. In fact, you will see up here that you can switch to Spanish if you want to. We have other languages also coming out here. If you're in UK, you can switch to the UK version. So yes, you can do this even if you are overseas. Okay. How do DSD and eBay relate in this case? Well, DSD and eBay have an API relationship. So whenever you can make a listing on DS Domination, it will post that listing over to eBay, and then it'll track the listing for you and make any adjustments as needed on your eBay sale. Okay, so that's how that works. Okay, Alan asks, do I have to pay for the products first? No, you do not. Okay, that is the beauty of this, and I think this is the one thing that people get hung up on. You list the item on eBay for $11.25. Okay, now usually we tell you to only list items more than $35 because first of all, your profit margin is better, and secondly, those have free shipping on them. Okay, so it helps you out. But you list it for $11.25. It will first be sold to somebody. Somebody comes on eBay and buys it from you. In this case, Jane came and bought the item from you. Then you went to Amazon. Okay, the $11.25 go into your PayPal account. Okay, now if you've already been selling for a while, it'll be in your PayPal account. You can even move it to your bank account right away. If you've not been selling yet, if this is the first time you started selling, then it'll sit in your PayPal account for a while. Okay, but it's there. Okay, the money's in your PayPal account. Now you will go and you go to Amazon and you will buy this item for $7.33 on your credit card, and you will then send it using 123 Special Street as the shipping address to Jane Smith. So you will only buy this and ship it, not manually. Amazon will ship it directly to Jane. You will never touch the product. It will never sit in your garage. It will never sit in your car. You will only do this after it has successfully sold. Okay, so it's the complete opposite thing happening here compared to what you do in typical companies. Typical companies asking you to buy $1,000 worth of whatever and store it with you and then give it to people and to sell it to people. We are saying don't buy anything until it has already sold for profit, then you should buy. Okay? All right, so go ahead, Kevin.
Actually, what I want to do is I'm going to grab the screen, and while we continue to kind of answer questions, I just want to show these guys just kind of update on what's going on over here. So I'm going to show my screen. So if you guys can see this is that question that I asked 44 minutes ago when we first started the webinar. Can you guys see this? Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, great. So it says, I asked who's making money with DS Domination. What have your results been? And this is, I love asking this because you get all kinds of, you get to run the gamut, right? You get people who are just got in, people who have been in for a long time, right? I'm learning, still learning, but excited to get the results, all the way down to, in my last, in less than 90 days, I've made over $1,800 in profit. Me and my team of 400 are making money. All right, so for the month of July, I've done $3,500 in sales and $406 in profits. It gets kind of crazy from here, some of the results that people are posting. $20,000 this month started in June. Where else can you take a business from starting in June, starting a month ago, to 20K this month? That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Check this out. 325K in FBA. This is one of the higher level products that you guys eventually will see, but I'm just going to toggle these results real quick, okay? $325,000 in sales, and it all started with Pro. So I love that he kind of put that up there because that's where everyone kind of begins, right? It's not where you end, it's where you begin, start getting your feet wet. All right, working on $1,200 profits for the month of July, and this is Chris's first month. Can you see that, Hitesh? $1,200 profit, first month. That's ridiculous. Where else can you do that without having to have a list of people to recruit into your network marketing opportunity? You just can't. You can't do it. It's ridiculous. All right, so I'll scroll down a couple more of these. A little over 2 weeks, and the sales are rolling in. 2 weeks, and we're up to $5,100, almost $5,200 in sales. First 2 weeks into DS Domination.
So Beverly is asking, what are these people selling? I've never made this kind of money. Okay, they are selling everything, and they're selling things that are in demand. Okay, so one of the key things you have to do is go through the training and especially focus on what to sell and how to find profitable items. And that's all you do. You just focus on profitable items, especially when you get to the monopoly level. I think one of the wonderful things was I think Matt just crossed $1 million in sales. $1 million in sales just using monopoly. Yeah. And look, here's the thing. This webinar could have started out, and here's how we would have done it. We would have started this out. We would have somebody on here who would tell you, I made $1 million with this company. This is amazing. And we would have shown you the screenshot, and then we would have said, you want this kind of money, join and pay $2,000. Instead, we're giving you a pathway to success because we want you to take your time. So if you have gone through the training and you're still feeling like you're stuck, you should attend the live session, ask the questions there, and if you're still stuck, go and get the expert consultation. We even have expert consultation in the back office now, and somebody will actually look at your account and get you through there.
This is really cool.
eBay site. Yep. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just want to say, Les, yes, your partner will be able to see this. There'll be a recording that will be sent out to everyone who's on the call. So you will be able to show that to your business partner for sure. I'm sorry, Tesh, go ahead. Aussie eBay site?
Oh, I was just going to answer that, yes, you can start selling on your Australian site right away. You don't have to wait. And then you can actually transition over to selling in the US. Once your account has been aged in the US, you can sell in the US as well. Okay, so hopefully now, first let's calm down for a second, okay, because we're getting all sorts of questions all over the world. I want to stop for a second and ask, is this process clear? The process that we taught today, that we went over tonight, is that process clear? Does that make sense? Okay, awesome. Now we are going to address more questions. Okay, we're not saying that we're done. We'll address more questions, but we see all these hundreds of yeses, which is amazing. Now, what I want to do is take a second. If this made sense to you, this is logical and all that good stuff, go ahead, go to the sign up page. Okay, we'll keep asking the question, but go to the sign up page and create your account right now, just so we can keep a track on the results of the webinar and all that stuff. It's for internal benefits, but just because we are being nice, be nice to us and let us know these internal statistics as well. So if you could go ahead and set up your accounts while we are talking about this, this would be great. Okay, now I can address this other question, which is one, what is FBA? Which I'm sure you're seeing this in the comments, and you're seeing this in the testimonials, people saying, I made all this money with FBA. FBA means fulfilled by Amazon. Okay. Now, in the example that I just showed you, we took the item from Amazon, we sold the item on eBay. We can also sell the items on Amazon and get the item from somewhere else. Now, that's taught, selling on Amazon is taught in the product called Monopoly. Okay, it's one of our higher level products. It's a one-time cost instead of monthly cost. It's a one-time cost of $4.99. FBA means fulfilled by Amazon. That's the point where you actually will go in and become a big business. Okay, so this is a journey, and I want you to keep your mind on the big picture here. The big picture is 6 or 7 months from now, you guys are making all this money doing this basic stuff, and what you do is you select items that are doing extremely well for you, and you will actually get the items directly to yourself. You get shipment of an item sent right into Amazon, and Amazon will sell the stuff for you on your behalf. That's called fulfilled by Amazon, and people make hundreds of thousands of dollars doing it. Excited about that side of the business as well. It's just really boomed and done really exceptionally well. But that is not the immediate thing. That's part of what we call Genesis, and that's our highest end. That's the final steps of the journey, if you will. So you start out right now with Pro, and you will eventually go from Pro to Elite, from Elite to Unleashed, Unleashed to Monopoly, Monopoly to Genesis. That's the process, and for some of you will do that whole process in 2 weeks. I'm being serious. We've had people do that. Some of you will say, you know what, I have the money right now, I'm financially stable, I want to jump right to the final point. Then you can just do that right now. But for most of you, you're going to say, I have financial liabilities, I'm in a difficult spot, I want to build myself out of this. And for those, that's why we have this pathway. You will get Pro right now, and then you will take your profits from each step and move to Elite, and you take your profits from there and get Monopoly, and take your profits from there and get Genesis, and that's the process. Okay, so hopefully that explains to you there's no urgency on our side. We're never going to push you to buy things. You just have to get in and get going. Okay, just get going with this journey.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy at the price level, guys. When we go to events and stuff, people are like, "Why is this so cheap?" But you know, we want to keep the price. We'll always keep it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll eventually raise up a little bit, right? It'll eventually go up, but it'll never be $1,000 to get it on the front end. It'll never be its true value, because we also understand that if you're looking at growing a home-based business, then you're probably doing that because you need money. You don't need a company to charge you $1,000 for access to their platforms, right? So it'll always stay at a low price, but we can't guarantee that it'll be this low forever. I mean, it's insane how much value is back there for, you know, $20 a month that you can cancel at any time, right? So nuts. So what I did was I sent everyone the sign-up link for those of you who are ready to get started, and let me know who you are. Just hop in the chat, say I'm getting started. But what I really want to make sure you do is that you look at who is your sponsor and make sure that it's the correct sponsor. And if it isn't, go back to the email or go back to the Facebook post that sent you here, or make sure you're activating with the right person so that they get credit, because they're there to help you. And Deborah, you can actually reactivate your account. I'll type you some instructions out and toss it on in there for you. And I think we're about good, Hitesh. What do you think?
Yep, I think we have answered pretty much everything. We have one question, which Benji, this is a very it is a irrelevant question. It doesn't affect anything. PayPal and eBay are now separate entities in the sense that they're now separately traded companies. But that doesn't affect anything in the way they're working right now. At least as of right now, there is no difference in how it was before their separation, if you will. Just want to start selling on my AUS eBay site and start making some money right away. Okay, maybe that's the problem, Deborah, because you're only focused on selling on your Australia site. Now, Australia site doesn't get as much traffic. eBay in Australia doesn't get as much traffic or as much profitability as selling in the US does. So you will want to watch that video and move to that as well. And if you're getting stuck on that, you can also skip ahead and just get Monopoly and focus on selling on Amazon directly. That's the other thing you can do. All right, and
David,
then,
to answer your question where you're asking about email alerts that you get from the system, just go into the back office, log into DS Domination, scroll down. You're going to see a latest corporate webinar. Go watch that, and all your questions will be answered. We just addressed a lot of that stuff on the webinar to make sure you guys are just thoroughly informed. Awesome, Deborah. Awesome.
all right, and you know what? I just want to take a look at my timer still. Okay, and as far as the timer, DSD members. So while we've been doing the webinar, we've been chatting and having fun. DSD members have generated $1,075 in that time and climbing. So I think we've answered pretty much all the questions. Let's get you guys in here and let's get you guys going. We hope to see you on all the webinars and train you more and all that beautiful stuff, because we want to see you in these kind of Facebook threads saying, yep, I'm doing extremely well. Yes, I'm getting results. This is my first month and I'm doing well. So
absolutely, absolutely. This is great. This is great.
Much great.
Yeah, and I've sent everyone the sign-up link for those of you who are ready to get started. I will be sending out a recording of this for the folks that missed it, but looking forward to seeing you guys next week. Seeing you on the we're going to have some pro training. We got some training coming up. We are always doing training in here. So when you get in the back office, do me a quick favor, hop into our Facebook groups. You'll see them. That way you can stay up to speed on everything we've got going on, and you can get just in the massive profits fast. So. Hitesh.
Yep. Well, definitely. Thank you very much for attending this little webinar thingy. I think addressed all the questions. But if you have any more specific questions on the inside of DSD, that you're already a member and you have questions on what you can do and how you can go about things, this webinar is more geared for those who have never been exposed to DSD. Make sure you attend our training sessions that are for DSD members. And I believe that's tomorrow, isn't it, Kevin, or is it the next week?
Next week. Tomorrow's going to be for the Monopoly and the Genesis, and everyone.
Okay, so tomorrow for people who are in Monopoly and Genesis selling on Amazon, we have the webinar for them, and then the next week, we'll have the live training for members who are in Pro and Elite. And so, if you have any questions at all, or you're getting stuck on some specifics, and you want to get in and have somebody look at your account, take a look at your situation, help you out, you can just get on those, and we'll take care of you.
Sounds great. Sounds great. Well, thanks everyone for being here. Get that sign-up link, get started, get moving, and we'll see you very soon. Talk soon.